Yo, what is going on, Z-Boosters? It is Z-Burst here with Inside the Predictions, featuring the Miami Dolphins. I have the Miami Dolphins going 7-9 this year due to their quarterback questions with, is it Jay Cutler? Is it Ryan Tannehill off his ACL injury? Is it recently signed Brock Osweiler? And then for the running back, is it Kenyon Drake? Is it Frank Gore, who they signed off agency? Are they both going to do well? These are thoughts I have to think of. I also have to think of their all-star wide receiver Jarvis Landry not being there anymore and being a Cleveland Brown. But anyways, back to the schedule with Week 1. The Miami Dolphins take on the Tennessee Titans in Miami and are going to win. They are going to win because Tennessee isn't going to be ready for the new and hopefully improved Miami team. Tennessee is going to be slacking on the run defense, and Kenyon Drake and or Frank Gore are going to produce. The Miami Dolphins wide receiver core are going to get open because Kenny Stills is going to be their probably new number one, and he's going to help whoever's at quarterback get yards, get touchdowns. The Dolphins are going to win. Week 2 is against the New York Jets in New York or New Jersey, and they are going to win again, so they'll start off 2-0, which is the first team so far to do that in these Inside the Predictions. And they're going to beat the Jets because the Jets are not going to be ready as a team this early in the season. The Miami Dolphins offensive line is going to hold the D-line and help Kenyon Drake and help Frank Gore get some yards, get some gaps going, get some holes, and they're going to let that run game pull them through Week 2, which leads to Week 3 against the Raiders in Miami, and they're going to actually lose that game. So they'll go to 2-1. They're going to lose because the Oakland Raiders actually have a solid defense that is going to shred through the O-line the Miami Dolphins have, and the Oakland Raiders offense is now even more stacked. They've added Jordy Nelson, and that alone is going to boost the Raiders' confidence with Derek Carr at quarterback and Marshawn Lynch at running back. Then you have an outstanding player such as Jordy Nelson and Amari Cooper as wide receivers. It's a good win for the Raiders, a bad loss for the Dolphins, which leads to Week 4 against the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium in New England. And they're going to lose that game as well because the Patriots, at this point, are better than the Dolphins. I don't need to say much about it. Most people know the Patriots are better than the Dolphins, and it's going to stay true this year in Week 4. Week 5 against the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, and they're going to win that game. The Dolphins are going to beat the Bengals because I don't think the Bengals are ready this early on in the season, Week 5, to take on a team that's so much like flip a coin who's going to win. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be more in it to win it in Week 5. I don't think the Bengals are going to have their head on straight this early and understand that these early games really matter. And I think the Bengals are going to let that slip through their fingertips, and the Dolphins are going to win that game. Week 6 is against the Chicago Bears in Miami, and the Dolphins are going to win this game in Miami. One, because they're at home and their fan base is going to help support them through the Chicago Bears that just signed a speedster in Taylor Gabriel. They just signed Allen Robinson, and they have two really good running backs in Tarek Cohen and Jordan Howard. But I don't think they're going to be formed as a group yet, like their chemistry, because I don't think, like, Taylor Gabriel was like the fourth wide receiver for the Falcons, and now he's coming in. He's probably going to take on a wide receiver 3 slot receiver position for the Bears. I don't think Mitchell Trubisky is going to know where to throw the ball for the Bears, which is going to cause confusion, which will let the defense, the D-line, bombard Trubisky, get some sacks, probably force a fumble or two, probably get an interception, and the Dolphins' defense is going to win the game for the Dolphins in Week 6. Week 7, the Miami Dolphins take on the Detroit Lions in Miami, and they're going to win that game as well. Again, because one, they are going to be in Miami, and Miami's fan base is actually really supportive of their team, and they always help push the Dolphins to their expectations. The Lions aren't going to be. I think the Lions' passing yards are going to be more, but I am willing to bet the farm that the Dolphins' run game is going to wear and tear this Lions defense until they physically can't keep up, and the Dolphins are going to win because the run game is going to outplay the pass game. Week 8, the Miami Dolphins will take on the Houston Texans in Houston, and they're going to lose that game because Houston's O-line is better than Miami's. Houston's defense is better than Miami's. Houston's offense is better than Miami's. Houston's coaching staff, in my opinion, is better than Miami's. And they're going to be in Houston. So Houston's going to win this game outright. I don't expect this game to be close at all. The Houston Texans are going to beat the Miami Dolphins in Week 8, which will start a bad trend for the Dolphins because they go into Week 9 against the New York Jets in Miami, and they're actually going to lose this game too. In Week 9, I think Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the New York Jets, is going to be ready and improved, and he's going to show that he can beat a division rival in the Miami Dolphins by Week 9. He's going to show bits of it before Week 9, but by Week 9, he's going to beat the Miami Dolphins. The Jets defense is going to get to whoever is the quarterback for the Dolphins, which will force the Dolphins to run the ball a lot more, which means the Jets can send more blitzes and shut down the run game, and one thing leads to another, which leads to a New York Jets win against the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Week 10 is against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay, and late game Packers, like Week 8 to Week 17, a different team compared to Week 1 to Week 7 Green Bay. So the Packers are going to beat the Dolphins because the Packers know what's at stake and know that they can make the playoffs, and the Dolphins aren't going to understand that at Week 10, and they're going to let this one slip. This game, I have it close, but I have the Packers beating the Dolphins. The Packers might not have a better run game, but the Packers have a better quarterback. They have a better tight end. They have some pretty even wide receivers. And then Dolphins and the Packers defenses, you flip a coin. You don't know which way you're going to either get a good defense or a bad defense depending on the game. Which leads to Week 11, which is also a bye week for the Dolphins alongside the Patriots and the Patriots and the Bills. So everything's time to calm down and figure out what the Dolphins are doing wrong. Those are 3 straight losses leading to a bye week, and hopefully they can recover. In Week 12 against the Colts in Indianapolis, they figure out what was wrong and they win this game. They beat the Colts in Week 12 because they know what's at stake now. And they fix it in Week 12, and they're going to beat the Colts because the Colts' defense is going to hold up the Dolphins' run game. And I don't think anybody on the Colts' defense can keep up with Kenny Stills and his wheels. Week 13 is against the Buffalo Bills in Miami, and they're going to lose this game. They're going to lose. The Dolphins are going to lose this game because the Bills are going to have something against the Dolphins. The Bills are a run offense team. The Dolphins this year, I suspect them to also be a run offense team. And the Bills have a better running back in LaShawn McCoy than the Dolphins do in Kenyon Drake and Frank Gore. So it's going to be a low-scoring game probably because both defenses are decent for who they're competing against. And then it's going to be a long game because it's going to be a lot of running plays, not as many passing plays. Both O-lines are hopefully going to hold up. I have them like 2-3 sacks the entire game. And the Bills are going to come away victorious. Week 14 is against the New England Patriots in Miami. They're going to lose this game as well because the Patriots are fighting for a 2 seed or a possible 3 seed if they lose a couple games. See that video early on I posted. Go check it out after you're done with this video. And the Patriots are going to win because they're just a better team. I don't know how else to say it. The Patriots are better than the Dolphins this year, as they usually are. And the Dolphins just aren't ready to beat the Patriots. They physically can't beat the Patriots yet this year. Week 15 is against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota, and they're going to lose this game as well because the Dolphins aren't as overpowering as the Vikings are. The Vikings have Dalvin Cook at running back. They have Latavius Murray at running back. They have Stephon Diggs at wide receiver. They have Adam Thielen at wide receiver. They have Kirk Cousins at quarterback. And their defense is top 5. The Dolphins don't even have Jarvis Landry anymore. I have 0% chance that the Dolphins beat the Vikings in Minnesota. Week 16, the Dolphins take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Miami, and they're actually going to lose this game as well. This is now 4 losses in a row after their bye week, and then their week 12 winning is the Colts. They've lost 4 straight in the late game. They were possibly a playoff contender until they've lost these 4 straight games. They're going to lose to the Jaguars because the Jaguars are just going to swell up and understand that they need to get into the playoffs. The Jaguars know there's something they can win. If they beat the Dolphins, they're going to win. The Dolphins now realize they can't make the playoffs, and they're just going to honestly fight for a better draft pick. That's why I have them losing. The Jaguars are going to care more. And then week 17, the Dolphins are going to take on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, and they're going to end the season off with a win. They're going to win because the Buffalo Bills are one-dimensional, and they've already played them once, and the Bills aren't going to adjust against the Dolphins the second time, but the Dolphins are going to adjust against the Bills the second time, which, hand in hand, the Dolphins are going to figure out how to beat the Bills, and they're going to do it. The Dolphins are going to beat the Bills because the Bills are going to outplay themselves, and the Dolphins are going to reign supreme, at least to the very end. They're going to end the season with a win, and that's that. That's how they're going to go 7-9 this year. Their schedule is actually really tough this year, which is another reason why I have them at a losing record this year. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. You Zebrasters have a great weekend. Have an amazing Father's Day. Go make sure your dad watches this video. Make sure he subscribes and likes and shares the video with all his dad friends. As long as you guys share the video with your friends, your entire family, every stranger you see at Walmart or Target. Go, just have a fun life. Have a fun time watching YouTube. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.